Hey guys, welcome back to the Hess Project. I'm John Rodalaza, and today I'm going to be going over the brand new episode of WandaVision. Yes, episode 4. What is it called? We interrupt this program. Let's get into it, guys. Messy intro aside, this episode was awesome. I enjoyed it. We got back into the Marvel Universe world that we know and love in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We detached from the TV sitcom stuff for once, and hey, I have no problem with that. I love that stuff, but it's gonna be tricky for a lot of fans to follow through with this storyline if we don't detach from the sitcoms just a little bit. There was like barely any time in the sitcoms. We actually didn't even get a new episode. For the most part, we're following Monica Rambeau outside of the bubble before she entered this Westview simulation reality that Wanda is in control of. And yes, we get that knowledge that Wanda, for the most part, as we know right now, she is in control. She's running things, guys. She is Vince McMahon, and this bubble of Westview is WWE. It's a bit of a weird analogy, but that's what came to my head first. Anyways, this episode opens up with Monica Rambeau just slowly appearing. Like, it almost looks like the snap effect, but in reverse. Like, pieces of her are coming back to form Monica Rambeau, and soon you realize, whoa, is this like reverse snap or something? She gets out of a hospital bed, runs into the hallway, and more people are just snapping back into the room, into the halls. It is reverse snap. This scene is taking place like the second Tony Stark snapped his fingers. I am Iron Man, took care of everyone that was working with Thanos and trying to destroy the world and the universe. If you're not really big on the Marvel films and you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, then you might be a little lost as to what happens because they don't have a big exposition scene explaining to you everything that has happened so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so you can understand why people are just appearing. They don't need to either. We're so deep in this world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that if you're just lost, at this point you should just watch Endgame and then, you'll be able to follow along some things like WandaVision. I think Endgame is kind of essential if you want to understand what's going on fully in this episode. Monica Rambeau teams up with Jimmy Woo from the FBI. It is in fact him. So yeah, it's Jimmy and Monica teaming up, and when they go to the sign that says "Welcome to Westview," and there's two cops sitting there, he asks them, is there a town right here, Westview? No, there's no town there. The cops were like very oblivious as to if there was like even a town behind them. And as the viewer, we see the town, but I don't think the cops see the town. And I came up with the theory that maybe they're brainwashed. Maybe Wanda got to them to make them think that the town isn't there, and she put them there so that anybody that comes near that entrance will be told to leave and be told that there is no thing back there. I honestly think she maybe brainwashed everybody in the world at the time. Before the snap, maybe. Before everyone got snapped back, perhaps. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It seems like everyone who snapped back does see this town and isn't under the influence of Wanda, because we saw Monica come back. Maybe Jimmy got snapped. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, Monica puts her hand right up against the force field. She gets sucked into it, and thus we start to see like her in the second episode, I think in the 60s, and then the third episode in the 70s, where she revealed Ultron's name. She name-dropped Ultron right in front of Wanda. Wanda freaks out. She's like, you need to leave. And it shows like a deleted scene of that episode where Wanda finds out, why'd you say Ultron? What did you say about Pietro? And then she just starts using her magic, pushes Monica right out of the reality, go through all these walls and whatnot, shoots her right out of the field, the force field, and right back into the real world. So that was the first time anything involving sword penetrated this reality, in this world, in this bubble. And yes, sword is in here. They're already established and everything. I'm starting to think this is just a thing in the works for the last few movies. Like, it's more than just Captain Marvel. Hell, maybe even it started in Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s, so it probably was a thing happening the entire time. We just didn't know it, but you just gotta suspend disbelief with Sword, because yeah. Kat Denning comes back. She plays her character from the Thor films. Yeah, she's alright. I was never a big fan of hers. She was kind of funny in the other ones, but she got old kind of quickly. Her voice is not the best. I can't listen to it that much. It was really cool to see Jimmy and Darcy kind of study this sitcom. You know, Darcy set up this to where the only transmission that she can get from inside this bubble reality of Westview was in the form of this television series that was being put on. And they were watching the 3 episodes that we got to see first, but there were some edits, if you will. There were the censored versions of those episodes because there were some things left out. Like, for instance, the moment with Wanda and Dottie when, you know, Dottie's holding the glass and you start to hear Jimmy coming through the radio, and then the glass breaks. It cuts Dottie's hand open, and then she looks at the hand, she cleans it up, and then it says pop quiz. Like, it just cuts right from you hearing Jimmy's voice once, and then it cuts to Dottie saying, pop quiz. It's funny that Wanda has these censored versions play out, but we got to see the uncensored ones, like the first airings of these episodes. It was just funny to me. I enjoyed that little aspect of it. It was kind of cool. Nonetheless, there's not much really to talk about and grasp with you guys other than that. I pretty much touched upon it all. Not saying that this episode was boring by any means. I thought it was very insightful and very informative to the WandaVision story, but we got less of Wanda and Vision in here. Not new stuff, you know, but don't worry. We're going to get more of that. We're going to get the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s perhaps. We still got an episode where they're going to have their classic costumes, so that's coming down the road, and I can't wait for that. But let me know down below in the comment section, what did you think of the new episode of WandaVision? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that little step away from the sitcom stuff? Because I know a lot of people aren't huge sitcom fans, so when they saw that how much that this show leaned into the sitcom tropes, some people were turned off by it. I can understand that. I personally love sitcoms. I have the biggest soft spot for them. But let me know down below your thoughts. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Be sure to hit that notify bell so you can stay up to date on all of my videos, my reviews, my reactions, all that fun jazz, guys. Stick around the channel because there's more to come. I just heard the doorbell ring and I got a package. So let's look at that real quick. Let's see that. I know what it is. It's a WandaVision shirt. Damn, I should have wore that for the review.